I was her closest friend at work. They think I am the woman she was hiding things from. I want you to know I was the woman who helped her hide them. I am not a real person. The things I did are. There is a building on a quiet block in the 60s that I followed her into on a Tuesday in May. I have not told anyone about it. I am going to tell you now. For 9 days I have been telling myself the same story. I helped her have an affair. I covered 4 of her afternoons. I told the questions away. I held the gallery floor in her absences, and I rehearsed in my head the apology I would owe her husband when the affair came to light. I was wrong. For 2 weeks she had been distracted. She bought a perfume she had not worn before. She asked me one afternoon, while we were hanging a piece by a young Brazilian painter neither of us had heard of 3 years ago, what I thought a person should do if their husband discovered the kind of thing that lives in their other phone. I laughed. I said, I think they should be more careful with the phone. She did not laugh back. I changed the subject. I have changed the subject professionally for 14 years. I have been ashamed of helping her commit an affair. I am beginning to think I have been wrong about which kind of help I gave her. There were 4 other people who saw her later than I did. One was her therapist. One was her sister. One is her husband. The 5th is the old woman who lives below the gallery. They will tell you what I cannot. I have worked the gallery floor with her for 4 years. I know what she looks like when she is closing a sale. I know what she looks like when she is calling her husband. I know what she looks like when she is lying to a collector about a price. What I did not know was what she looked like when she was preparing to leave her own life. The first cover was on the 28th of April. She told me she had an intake at a private collector's home in Westchester. She asked me to repeat that to anyone who asked. I said yes. I have said yes to her for 4 years. The second cover was the 2nd of May. The third was the 8th. The fourth was the 12th. On the 12th I did something I have not told anyone. I left the gallery 30 minutes after she did. I took a cab. I told the driver to follow the kind of route a woman going to a private collector's home in Westchester would take. The cab turned west. Then the cab turned north. Then the cab stopped on a quiet block in the 60s. I did not get out. I asked the driver to wait. She was inside a 4-story townhouse for 1 hour and 20 minutes. There was a brass plaque next to the door, but I was on the wrong side of the street to read it. I did not cross the street. When she came out she did not look like a woman ending an affair. She did not look like a woman beginning one either. She looked like a woman who had signed something. I did not understand what I was looking at. I went home. I did not tell my husband. I did not call her. I told myself I would think about it the next day. The next day was the 13th. I did not think about it. The day after was the 14th. I did not think about it. On the morning of the 15th I came into the gallery at 6:45. I am always there before her. I have keys. She was already there. She had been there since 5. The lights were on. The coffee was already made. She was wearing a dark wool coat I had not seen her wear in 3 years. She did not say anything about the coat. She did not say anything about the early hour. She told me she had a 7 a.m. appointment with a doctor across town, and she would be back by 10. Before she left she put a small wrapped package on my desk. The wrapping was butcher paper tied with twine. She kissed the top of my head. She had never done that, not once in 4 years, and she said, "Open it after I leave." I waited until I heard the front door click. I unwrapped the paper. Inside was a small silver pen. It was not expensive. It was considered. There was a note. The note said, "You held the floor better than I ever could. Use this." I read it twice. I put the pen in my desk drawer. I put the note in my wallet. I worked the floor until 6 p.m. At 6 p.m., her husband called and asked me when I had last seen her. I have carried the pen for 9 days. I have not used it. And here is the part one have not told anyone. I have been ashamed for 2 weeks of the wrong thing. I have been ashamed of helping her commit an affair. I have rehearsed 2 different apologies for her husband. I have not slept through a night since the 15th. I am sitting here in your bar, at 1 in the morning realizing none of that was the right shame. The right shame is that I helped her do something I did not understand. I held the door open without asking what was on the other side. You don't have to believe me, but I have been thinking, since 6 p.m. on the 15th when her husband called, about a question she asked me on the second week. She asked me what I would do if my husband discovered what lives in a person's other phone. I think I have understood it wrong. I think she was not asking about an affair. I think she was asking what it costs to be a person whose other phone is the real one. I helped her in the wrong language. I have been ashamed in the wrong language. I am beginning to wonder which language she was actually speaking. She did not need a friend who would lie for her. She needed a friend who would ask why. I am very good at not asking why. I have been very good at it for 14 years. I gave her the wrong kind of gift in return for hers. She gave me a silver pen with a note that called me competent. I gave her a series of fluent lies told to her behalf to people she did not particularly need to be lied to. I am not sure which of us comes out worse from that exchange. There is one instruction I want to give you. You will not be able to act on it. That is fine. If you want her name, and you will, by the end of this, you will not get it from me tonight. I have decided not to say it. The not saying is the only thing I have left to give her. Ring the doorbell of the old woman who lives in the apartment below the gallery. The old woman has been watching us both for years. The old woman knows the name. She will say it for you. I am asking her to. I have told you what actually happened in those 11 days. I told no one less than that. I told myself, for 9 days, less than that. There is one more sentence I want to give you. It is the only thing I am certain of. I was not her closest friend at work.